the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Okay, here we go.
Where the plays get broken down and science gets denied.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
Hour 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Raising Cane's studio.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 2, OTB. Always want to remind you about our friends over at Bayou Automotive. BayouAutomotive.com is the website in Laplace, Louisiana. So if you want to drive down, go check out the lot. We encourage you to do so, but you don't have to. If you're here in Baton Rouge and you want to buy a new vehicle, remember, you can do it on their website, BayouAutomotive.com. They've got Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. They got something for everyone down in Laplace, Louisiana. But again, you can buy that car online. And remember, if you buy a car from Bayou Automotive and it's, routine maintenance, right, time to get your oil change, whatever it might be, they will drive a loaner car to Baton Rouge, drop that off, pick up your car, change the oil, bring your car back. And so you are never going to be inconvenienced, and you don't get that anywhere else, but you always get it over at Bayou Automotive. Check out the Black Widow packages as well. Remember, those come on just more than the Jeeps. Now, the Jeep, trust me when I say it, that's what I've been driving around town. You will fall in love with it, but they have other packages as well. They do Black Widow as well as anybody in the country. Go to BayouAutomotive.com. All right, let's welcome in our guy, Dr. Stephen Etheredge, who joins us every single week here on OTB. What's up, Doc? How we doing?
Doing fantastic.
Feel better in that seat now that Flynn's not here?
I know I got some room to spread out,
I know.
It's not so bad.
He doesn't have his 17 screens up there. God knows what he's watching.
There's always some interesting stuff going on those screens for sure.
Well, to say the least, with that guy. He's in New Orleans. He's at a conference. He was on the panel yesterday.
Yeah, for like
a dietitian,
dietitian, athlete thing.
He was on the panel.
On the panel, yeah.
They put him up there with other experts.
His buzzword was enzyme.
That's fair.
It's just to make you sound smart when you don't know what you're talking about.
There's always some good words you can throw out there that'll do that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, enzyme.
That was the only one he had.
Yeah, that's a
lipids. I don't know what that
enzyme,
means, but
lipids,
yeah.
Micronutrients or something.
Yeah, micronutrients would make you sound.
Yeah, something just sounds really cool.
Real
Well,
smart.
when you break down the micronutrients, actually,
they really get into your enzymes. And
So we don't know how it went. He didn't tell. Like, if he would have crushed it, he would have told us, but he didn't.
Probably true.
Yeah, so I don't know how well it went, but he's Flynn, so probably got a pretty good idea of how it went. All right, Doc, so I was talking with you earlier, and I wanted to have a conversation about, and we hear this all of the time around this time of year, March through May in the National Football League, is injury prone. And I bring it up because, well, Jordan Tyson, who's the Saints selected number 8 overall, he has that tag. And that was like the only reason that people were kind of cautious during the draft, because for me and for a lot of people, he was no doubt the number 1 receiver in this class. Now, he didn't go as a top receiver. Tennessee, still wildly enough, they take a receiver at 4. But if Tyson would have been healthy, he probably would have been in that spot. Now, he didn't miss a ton of games, but he's had different injuries. He's had an ACL. He's had a shoulder. He's had soft tissue hamstring stuff. And he's got labeled injury prone. And so, like, as a doctor, like, when you hear something like that, and look, rookie minicamp, he did great the first day. We didn't see him the second day. And it was like the Saints were like, this is maintenance. This is like a plan. So whatever. But when you hear somebody's injury prone, do you buy into that? Or is it like you just got bad luck?
Well, it's a great question. Like you said, it is one we get asked a lot. It is one that comes up all the time. And if you want my opinion is there is a little bit of truth to both the things you just said. Some guys really are injury prone.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I do think there's bad luck. And how do you kind of navigate through that? And that's where it gets really, really difficult. And I think even with injury prone, I think there's 2 categories there. I think you have a guy who had a really bad injury, and then you worry about that injury specifically. So somebody that has one of the classic examples, there's 2 that I think of that kind of went both directions. You think about Marcus Lattimore, phenomenal, in my opinion, one of the best college running backs, during our era, or could have been.
South Carolina, yeah.
South Carolina had a dislocated knee, really bad knee injury. never ended up making it the next level. This is a guy who almost definitely is an NFL running back. I mean, I'd probably take away almost.
Yeah.
With as good as he was prior to that injury, never plays an NFL game.
Right.
Never able to because of one injury. It just wasn't able to rehab it. And then you look at the other side of that coin. One of the classic examples I bring up a lot is Drew Brees, who had a shoulder injury, and literally one team did not clear him. The Dolphins ends up a Saint because of that. And if you're the medical staff there, you feel pretty awful if you watch his career from that point forward. So you have those guys, and then you have these other people that are maybe just more, literally injury prone, predisposed to it for whatever reason. They have identified some specific genes that either protect you from tendon and ligament injury or increase your risk. There's guys that you see the repeated soft tissue injuries like hamstrings. One or two hamstring strains, okay, that's one thing, but over and over, you really got to start asking yourself, what's going on with this guy? And sometimes maybe it's somebody that doesn't do the right rehab and training, but sometimes there's something to it for sure. And that's a hard thing to figure out.
We always hear some guys, Zion kind of comes up in this conversation because he's had the soft tissue, like he's too explosive. Like his hamstrings and all the soft tissue, they can't keep up with how athletic and explosive and big he is. Is there truth to that?
I think there is. And I think that's something we've talked about. For one, we talked about this before. You don't see a hamstring strain and typically in somebody who's slow. There's always a weird exception, the guy who slips and falls and goes into a split or something.
Yeah. I always tell my story, my rookie year, Nora's like, you're not fast enough to pull your hamstring.
And
get back out there. I'm like, okay,
and look, if you look at it, I will tell you 90% of the hamstring injuries I see, especially in young, athletes, they're going to be sprinters. They're going to be the wide receivers, the defensive backs, these big explosive type guys. Not always big, but definitely explosive.
Yeah.
And you look at a guy like Zion, who, look, he's a genetic freak, at least from the standpoint of he is big, he is fast. The guy can jump out of the gym. I mean, those things shouldn't add up.
Right.
And somewhere there's going to be just physics that comes into play too. So I think there's a lot of those factors that go into it. I think we can overcome a lot of it by doing really good rehab, having good medical practices. And some of that you're going to have to get buy-in from the athletes. These guys who maybe have a little bit more injury tendency, they really, really got to do their rehab. They really got to do things the right way.
What about scheduling? Like, so Jordan Tyson had a scheduled day off and maintenance. Is that something that can actually help, like, put him on a plan? Because, like, at the end of the day, like in a game, you're not going to really have a maintenance plan. At least if you do, it's not the best case scenario for anybody involved. And so can you create a plan that makes sense for the player to be able to not put the strain on whatever it is, but also make sure that he's ready to play, he or she is ready to play?
It's kind of a paradox that goes into that. That's something we always talk about because that chronic training, repetitive training.
Well, you know what I'm going to say.
To a point, is beneficial.
You and I got calloused in old two-a-days.
And I will tell you this. Go back to that era of sports.
Yeah.
How many soft tissue injuries did you see, especially after camp? So, and I think we recognize there's some truth to that. Again, look at basketball. Basketball, for me, is the best example. I don't remember a superstar, maybe outside of one freak injury, ever missing the playoff game.
Right.
It happened. It happened every now and then. But you go back to the days of, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Kareem, all these guys. Occasionally a guy has a bad injury. One guy. How many superstars from all these NBA teams right now are not playing because of injuries?
Yeah.
And what's the one big difference? Well, they are having all these maintenance days. They're getting all this time off. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, but there is a part of me that kind of agrees with you. There's a musculoskeletal callus, and there is a recognized phenomenon of chronic training. Now, there is also overuse injuries. So where do you find that balance? My personal opinion is I think there's more benefit to doing more training, which isn't always a popular statement. That's kind of how I see it. But on the flip side of that, I do think you have to look at your athletes as individuals. You have guys that you realize, like, hey, he is rehabbing a hamstring or he just had this. Yeah, it's probably good to give him a day off. For this guy that's coming off of an ankle injury, do we really want him taking reps on a full contact Tuesday when we really need him playing on Saturday? And there is, you got to find that line. And I think there is a line there. I do think modern sports, just like most things, the pendulum sometimes swings too far.
We got a question inside the chat here. Ask Dr. Etheredge. Since Hester is now old, 41, the best method for Hester to recover his arm after throwing the first pitch on Friday?
It's a fair question. Hey, first thing I'll address, 41, not old.
Yeah, Doc's older than that, people.
At 47, I feel like 41 is quite young. It's kind of a spring chicken there. Man, I think you just got to give it your go. And then little ice, little Tiger Balm, all the good things, I think still work for me, I think I will say this. The most important thing, all sincerity, warm up. I think we've learned that warming up is going to be where the key to preventing injuries, especially in that scenario. So do some practice throws.
So we have a 9U game out in Zachary at 4 on Friday. So I'm going to leave from that to go to the box. So you're saying instead of getting the kids warmed up for their bullpen, I should be getting warmed up.
You need to be getting warmed up, yeah. Now, I may wait till the tail end of when you're going to leave. You don't want to warm up, cool down, then have that whole thing going on too. So maybe not doing the pregame warm up.
As long as I don't bounce it.
That's the biggest fear.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
It's nobody wants to bounce.
Since you went to Florida State, and I think you'll appreciate this, should I try to throw a strike or should I try to pick off and throw it in the third base dugout?
That's a good question.
Because I think if I did that,
Yeah.
no matter where it goes, that would be good.
That would be good.
We're not trying to hurt anybody too bad, but just to make sure that
I wouldn't mind a stray ball catching, somebody in blue and orange over there. It's okay.
Just hit him in the ankle. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, we don't want any.
Yeah, we don't want any long term.
Just enough to kind of maybe take him out of the game.
All right, fair enough. Last one I had for you, Doc, and I apologize because I didn't prep you for this, but you're going to have a great answer for it. We've talked about turf and grass. We've had that conversation. So all of these NFL teams that still have turf, because about half the league still has turf, all of them are hosting the World Cup. And they're all bringing in grass because FIFA's like, we're not doing that. We're not playing this game on that stuff. We're just not doing it. They won't allow it.
Yeah.
Right? And so all the stadiums that have turf are putting in grass. And like the NFLPA is like, hold up, wait a minute, what? And they're like, well, we couldn't do it like in December and January. Like, to me, that's just a cop-out. Would it be easy? No, it wouldn't be easy. There's some places that have some harsh winters in the National Football League. So I understand initially why you did it. I'm not a big fan. Like, if I go work out on turf, I feel it completely different than if I work out on grass. I just do. Maybe that's just me. Do you think we'll get to a point where they say, you know what, we're just not doing this turf stuff anymore, and it's all grass in the National Football League?
I think we should. With maybe, again, there might be a few exceptions where I understand if it's a really hard. But I mean, technology is pretty good now.
That's what I'm
you
thinking.
Can indoor grass.
I'm
trying
like Lambeau has grass.
Lambeau has grass. If Lambeau has grass.
Denver has grass.
Yeah. If Lambeau has grass, there's no real excuse.
Yeah.
And especially if you're talking about an NFL. I get, for example, I get some of the high schools here that we live in a swamp. And if you look at some of these fields, like, we don't have the budget the NFL has. So I understand why some of our schools here have done it.
Right.
I don't love it, but I totally get it.
Yeah, I get that more because, like you said, but the NFL is the most popular sport in this country, and it's not even close. Like, if you want to have the 32 best groundskeepers in the world, you could. And you could pay them a really good salary.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't even notice it in the budget.
I think it's one of those things where I'm hoping the research that we've seen and then what we've witnessed will finally get there. But I personally, I'm with you. I don't like running on turf. Maybe I am now getting old because I definitely feel it now. Although, look, again, the turf's better, but I'll never forget the first time I ever ran on turf. We were playing at the Superdome. This was back, in the 90s. So this is old ass turf.
I remember we played state championships there. Yeah.
And man, just after we went there, because we went down there and we practiced there for a week, and by the end of that week, my knees hurt, my back hurt.
Sugar Bowl?
I'm 19 years old. Sugar Bowl. I'm 19. I'm the peak physical health I've ever been. Never had a knee problem. Never had a back problem. I left like the last practice, like looking like an old man hobbling off the field just from running on it for a week. And again, the turf back then was way worse. It has gotten better. But
did y'all play Virginia Tech?
That was the national championship. But a couple years before that, we played Ohio State.
Okay.
Yeah, we played Ohio State. I think at the time we ended up finishing the season at 2, and they finished 4 or 5. But I guess they dropped down after that because we beat the Tar.
Yeah. You hear that, Bobby?
So
beat that. Buckeyes, get out here, Bob. I have to work with a lot of Buckeyes.
Yeah, they're out
used
there.
to.
They're out there. Yeah, they're not a good group. They're not a good.
It's
group.
a big group, though.
Yeah,
it's a very big group. Doc, we appreciate it, sir. Thank you as always. Tiger Bomb, right?
Tiger Bomb.
Okay. Have you ever done on the first pitch?
I did it at a softball game for BRCC.
Okay, underhand or overhand?
I went overhand because I didn't trust my underhand skills. So I wanted to make sure I got the strike there. And I'm just, I don't typically throw underhand. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go over.
That's true. That's very fair. Speaking of underhand, Beth Torina joins us in about 15 minutes from now. So stay locked in for that. Doc, we appreciate it, sir.
Always a pleasure.
All right. We'll be back. More OTB here live from the Raising Cane studio.
Off the bench.
All right. Go to GetGordon.com. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. When you go to GetGordon.com, remember you can have a chat right there with a live agent on the homepage of the website. So any question that you might have can get answered at GetGordon.com. Now, if you're listening to us in the state of Louisiana, and it doesn't matter where you're listening to us, if you're listening to us up in 11:30 a.m. the Tiger in Shreveport, we're talking to you. 94.7 ESPN Alexandria. We're talking to you. Certainly here in the Baton Rouge area, anywhere in the state of Louisiana. Always know if you've got a question, you just put your area code. Again, 318-225-985-504-337. Does not matter. You follow that with the 8s, 888-8888, and they're going to be able to answer that question. If you're looking to see what they're doing on social media, remember on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, whatever, the handle's always going to be @GetGordon. And you can see what's going on with your favorite athletes throughout the state of Louisiana. You can see what the G team's doing in the local community in Louisiana as well. So go to the website today, Get Gordon, and get it done.
Ladies, if you feel me, help me sing it out.
From the locker room to the airwaves, it's Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
I believed everything we had would last. So young and naive of me to think she was from your past. Silly of me to dream of one day having your kiss. Love is so blind, it feels right when it's wrong. I can't believe I fell for your schemes. I'm smarter than that. So dumb and naive to believe it with me.
All right, welcome back in OTB here live from the Raising Cane's studio. I want to remind you about our friends over at Pala, because at Pala, you're not just another number. You're an employee, owner, and part of a real team. Pala is hiring skilled welders and fitters right now at their fabrication shop in Hammond, Louisiana. Shop welders and fitters can make up to $40 an hour with overtime already locked in through 2027. Remember, you'll also get full benefits, 6 paid holidays, 2 weeks paid vacation, and employee ownership through Pala's ESOP program. So if you can burn rod, fit steel, and take pride in your work, Pala wants you on their team. Apply now at palagroup.com, P-A-L-A group.com. Pala, employee-owned, relationship-driven, building together. You know, I was thinking that, Alondra, you kind of came in here with a pep in your step today. Maybe it was because of the workout, but I really think it's because the Spurs won 126-97.
I'm going to have to name my
Wemby was
first
back.
kid Wemby, right?
Depends on how far they
Like,
go.
I'm gonna have to name him.
Victor if you wanted to.
Yeah, I could go
You know.
Victor. Victor Wemby.
Yama. I would just go with Yama. Yama's a great name.
You know, Victor's not a name that you hear very often. So
It's
you could be
really
like,
not
Oh, what'd you name me Victor? Then you get into the
because of my goat.
Wemby,
Yeah.
because
Probably because he had like 27 points last night, and he's just a beast. You know who's like
17 boards as well.
Yeah, you know who? I mean, the whole team is really well put together. But I was looking at the MVP odds the other day. SGA is still number one. I think Wemby was like plus 340, but not even an option, and has been playing his ass off, is Dylan Harper. Like not that he's gonna win the MVP, but like they're not even putting him on the board at all.
It's an underrated backcourt.
Yeah.
It has been for 2 years now for whatever reason.
I mean, even like Fox and Castle and Vassell, like I liked Vassell just fine, but I used to not really. I wouldn't care one way or the other if he was on the Spurs maybe last season, right?
Yeah.
But Vassell is also doing just a really great job down the stretch too. So, yeah, the Spurs winning is definitely putting a pep in my step.
Yeah, they've done such a good job of identifying talent.
Young
They've
talent,
got
too.
young talent. It's not just Wemby, and then you pair that with a De'Aaron Fox, who, like, wildly enough, like he's 10 years in now.
Yeah.
Like you pair that youth with somebody that can facilitate it, like De'Aaron Fox can. You know, you got like savvy vets on the back end of the bench who don't really play anymore, but like even having a Harrison Barnes and a Kelly Olynyk, like just sitting there mentoring those young players at the end of the bench when they come off. Hey, here's what I saw, because they've been through the fire for a long time as well. So even though they're not on the court, they're still helping you out. So, it's been a little bit of a different rotation for the Spurs. Like Carter Bryant's not playing as much as he once did. Like he's kind of got passed up in his minutes. And so like it's a team that if you're not playing well, they've got enough talent where they'll just, hey, next.
Yeah.
And they'll bring somebody else in. And man, they They're going to be a hard out for whoever.
Yeah.
Because, like, the Timberwolves, give them their credit. I mean, what they've done in the playoffs has been very impressive.
Ant
Ant's
has
a
been
competitor.
Yeah, it's
And,
like
I mean,
they're still in it because of Ant, I think.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean, if they don't have him, I mean, it's not even a conversation. I mean, he had another 20 last night, but it's more just like what he did against the Nuggets. I mean, he willed his team to victory for sure. Nas Reed's been playing really well, too.
Yeah,
so
Nas
shout
has
out to our
been
guy,
playing well,
Nas
too.
Reed.
Even though he got elbowed by Wemby.
Yeah, he did. And look, they're pesky, but they're not going to win this series. San Antonio's going to win the series. And
They're just like good on pretty much every facet of the game.
Oh, Spurs Thunder. It's going to be so good.
I'm a little nervous for it, but
lot
it's
of
going to
free
be.
throws for
I
FGA coming.
fully expect it to be a 7-game series.
yeah. Oh yeah, so many free throws for SGA. God.
That's the thing.
Oh,
about the
don't let
NBA.
Wemby elbow SGA. He would be out for the rest of the thing if it was SGA.
What would the NBA?
Who cares about Nas?
What would the NBA want
I care,
right
but
now?
wait, what?
Okay, so you got San Antonio, OKC. If the Spurs end up winning the last game, okay, so you got those two teams, and then you've got the Cavs and the Pistons, which is now tied up.
Yeah.
And then the Knicks are waiting there.
Are we back?
What is the NBA?
Like finals matchup?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Knicks Spurs
You think
easily
so?
for me.
Let's
Yeah, Spurs is
go.
a huge fan base, and it's in my
Beep,
opinion a marquee team, and they've been off the last few years, but everybody wants Wemby to be the face of the league at some point. You get him in there with a market like New York, yeah, that's the matchup for sure.
Which is crazy because the Spurs have always been like a very quiet organization. Like even when they were winning a
Because
bunch.
their superstars were super quiet.
Yes, like
David Robinson, Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan was the quiet, but he's also kind of like a silent troll.
Oh, I mean,
like
yeah, but he didn't
but
celebrate.
publicly he was not.
Yeah, he didn't talk.
And at all. Wemby,
No.
I mean, Wemby is more personable than Tim Duncan, but it's an exciting time to be a Spurs fan. Like, we feel like we're back. And I wish I was in San Antonio right now, like just honking my horn around downtown.
How far is San Antonio from here?
Like 6.5 to 7 hours.
Texas is a massive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
Well, but also like I'm stopping at Buc-ee's, so like maybe 8.
True. I mean, I remember going on like a
Dude,
recruiting visit.
I just put that together.
I was like,
She goes, I like 6.5, but if I stop at
no,
Buc-ee's,
it's like
8. I'm
6.5,
you're there,
7.
Yeah, I mean, you've been to Buc-ee's, you get it.
It's like 6.5 to
If
7.
you'd have said,
and
like-
the Baytown one's way bigger.
If you'd have said like 5, maybe we could have made a road trip if the Knicks Spurs,
Oh my god.
Because I'm a Knicks fan, you're a Spurs fan.
Yeah, but if
and-
we split it up,
yeah,
it's not that far of a drive.
I'm just thinking like all the things that we have in our lives going on at the time.
I would kill to be in San Antonio right now.
It looks great.
Like I keep seeing videos and it's giving me so much FOMO. And then Manu and the Admiral and Tim Duncan and Greg were all at the game last night.
Yeah. Do y'all think okay? So the Knicks have been chilling.
Mm-hmm.
They've been waiting. The Thunder, they're going to be waiting.
Yeah.
Do y'all think that's a bad situation for them? Like because the Cavs and Pistons, they're tied up at 2. They're going to play at least 2 more games, probably 3. And the Knicks are just going to be sitting there waiting. And let's say the T-Wolves win, and now you got a Game 7. Like OKC's just chilling, sitting there waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly for the Knicks because they're going to have a longer wait than OKC even did.
Yeah.
I'll say it's a negative for the Knicks. It's a positive for the Thunder. As weird as that sounds, the Thunder did this a year ago, and they went on to win the championship.
Yeah.
Like they've been there, done that. They're a young team. Like they'll be fine. They've kind of figured it out. For the Knicks, Jalen Brunson's one of those players who you guys know I'm a big fan of. But when he gets hot, he's hot, and he's one of the best players in the league. When he has to sit, 7, 8, 9 days. Who knows? Does he cool off a little bit? And the team has plenty of talent, but just for me, the fact that OKC did this a year ago, I'm not as concerned.
I just used to hate waiting. Just sitting there waiting while your opponents are still. I always talked about it. You get a bye in the NFL, and then the wild card game. They're not waiting at home. They're playing and they're still continuing on. And it's I hate that situation because you're just hanging out watching the games, and sometimes you can get a little too loose. a little too relaxed, and the other team's still fighting. So something we'll pay attention to. We don't talk a lot of NBA here, obviously, because, well, the team we cover is not very good. But
they don't even have a coach yet, Jake.
they don't, and it's been like lonely on the dance floor for a long time. But with the Spurs and Knicks in there, you'll probably hear a little bit more here on OTB. And something else you'll hear right here on the show is Beth Torina, head softball coach for the LSU Tigers, getting ready for their regional in Tiger Park. And we'll have that for you next here, live from the Raising Cane's studio.
Off the bench.
Going to ask her about Virginia Tech and playing like 3 home games. All right, Central Plumbing, centralplumbing.org. Not only in Central for your plumbing needs, remember that. We've been telling you over the last couple of days. Baton Rouge number 225-230-8156. Lafayette number. That's right, Lafayette 337-202-5263 is the number. For more than 50 years, Central Plumbing has been helping families and businesses here in the area with trusted residential and commercial plumbing services. So from busted pipes, clogged drains, to water heaters, sewer lines, gas lines, and emergency repairs, Central Plumbing truly does do it all. When emergencies happen, because, well, they always do, and they always at the worst time, remember, that number that I gave you for both Baton Rouge and Lafayette, that's 24/7 emergency service. So weekend, holiday, game day does not matter. Go check it out all online. Top right corner of the website is that contact information. That is centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
Yeah, this one right here goes out to all the babies, mamas.
From the locker room to the airwaves, it's Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Mamas. Yeah, go like this. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize a trillion times.
All right, welcome back in. OTB here live from the Raising Cane's studio. Very excited for this next conversation. LSU head softball coach Beth Torina joins us now to preview the regional taking place in Tiger Park coming over the next couple of days. Going to be LSU, Virginia Tech, South Alabama, and Akron in town. Coach, we appreciate the time as always. Hope you're doing well.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm out watching them prep this beautiful Tiger Park for the weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be great scenes, and obviously we've talked so much about what Tiger Park is and the home field advantage that you have there. But one of the things, and I've got to start here, Coach, because we talked about it in length yesterday when we were breaking down the regional, and we'll talk about all the teams, and I want to talk about your matchup, but just kind of going over the teams that are going to be here. For Virginia Tech, they've only really played away from home. They're 21-4 away from home, 16-2 on neutral sites. They only played 13 home games this entire season. We were going over the schedule and all the different places that they played, and they even hosted a tournament somewhere else. And they played a couple of teams that typically you would think would come to them on the road. And so that was one thing that stood out to us. Like, this is a team that's played a lot of games on the road, considering they've played 56 games and only 13 have been at home.
Yeah, I would say, weather probably plays a huge factor in that. And I think weather will probably play a factor this weekend, too. It's going to be really, really hot. And, I think we have a team that'll be ready to play in that, where I think it'll be a different feel for some of the others coming down this way.
And, Coach, kind of looking at, who's going to be in town, like obviously you played South Alabama earlier this year, so you've got a pretty good book of, what they're going to be, and they've played some common opponents, and so you can go watch some of that tape. But also Virginia Tech. I mean, they've played 6 SEC teams. They've won all 6 of those games with South Carolina, Georgia, and Auburn. And so knowing those SEC teams like you do, is it maybe where you start kind of your prep for this team, because you do know those teams, and it's, some of the same things maybe that they'll face when they face your team? Do you go to the last 6 games? And I know you, and I know how you work. You're going to watch all of them, but how much of it, are you going to say, okay, let's go off of this?
Well, you want to know what I did first? I went to their losses, and I watched how they lost. I watched what kind of arms beat them and, what type of things gave them problems. And then we'll definitely watch the most recent stuff. And then, like you said, watching things that look similar to us, whether it's an SEC team or not. But if they have a pitcher that looks like one of ours,
right.
Try to find a lefty, try to find a power righty, try to find some things that look like ours. So that'll be the tape that we show the team and the pitchers. But I want to know how they got beat. I want to know who beat them,
right.
and I want to know how they did it and how we can do it too.
And Coach, one of the things that we know about you is you're going to be prepared for every situation. The prep work's going to be second to none. And so when you have a situation like this where you have three teams coming to town and look, you only really know what's going to happen and how it's going to play out your first game. Like, you know that you've got, okay, Akron's going to be the first game. That's who we're playing. It is going to be, coming up, and it's going to be, Friday at 5:30. And after that, like, you don't really know what it's going to look like. And so when you're trying to allot your time, okay, let's spend this amount of time with three teams coming to town and you not really knowing, how is the process for you and your staff to break all of that down?
Well, it's a full scout for all three teams. I mean, I don't think you look past anybody that's playing this time of year. There's only 64 left out of 310 or whatever we ran this year in softball, and everybody's here for a reason. So I don't think you look past anybody. A ton of respect for everybody that's still playing. So it'll be a full scout. It's a lot of hours. I know the lights have been on at Tiger Park late every night, early in the mornings out here. We do have a lot of familiarity with South Alabama, though, like you said. We also played them in 2 10-inning games in the fall over at their place. So, I mean, I probably know their 25th player. They probably know ours, too, But we have a lot of familiarity there. So that helps, having some place to start with them. But having not seen Akron play at all, seen Virginia Tech on TV, and then they were here last year too, early in the season. So a little more familiarity there.
And Coach, obviously, like, we know what Tiger Park means in the atmosphere, and 28-5 this year at home. But when you're sitting there and you're watching the selection show and you're trying to figure out, okay, we know we're 13th in RPI, we know who we've played this year, we've played a very difficult schedule. Are we going to be one of those 16 host sites when you're getting down to the very back end there? Kind of walk us through your emotions when you see LSU is in fact going to be playing in Tiger Park.
Well, I think it was the team's emotions more than mine. It was a pretty cool thing seeing them. And, we have a couple of really sharp ones. Allie Hutchins knew it was down to us and Virginia Tech. I saw her telling the people, she's like, we're either going there or they're coming here. They knew that's who was left on the board. She's sharp. She's really sharp. She's like, I knew it was one or the other. The team, I was sitting behind them. They were looking around saying, can anybody see the coaches? Are they getting worried? What are they doing? They were starting to panic a little bit. Some of the freshmen, Callie Deal, was really panicking. So it was really cool to see their name called and just a big sigh of relief for them. But they earned the right to host and had an awesome season. They went through a lot of adversity and, fought through some things and learned how to come together. So I think it's a season they can really be proud of.
Catching up with LSU head softball coach Beth Torina here on OTB. Coach, they did. And we always kind of pointed out here when we're talking about your team is around, I would say, the middle of March. I would say that last game against Texas A&M, you did see something change in the softball team, and then you go and you beat South Carolina, and we could go on down the list. You take a game from Oklahoma, you win the Missouri series. Like, we could keep on going what your team did after that point. But for you, you're there every day. Like, you saw before that, you saw after that. What changed in this softball team to kind of get them in the mindset where they were going to play a little bit different and they are going to host in the postseason?
I think just a lot of us understanding them as well as learning the system. There was so much new when we started this year, and it was as much us learning the right words to say to them, some of the transfers, some of the things that worked for, Kylie Edwards. And, man, Bryce really hit a home run there with her once they kind of got to the bottom of what things make her tick, because she had an incredible season for us. But just an example of, trying to maybe fit her into a box and it wasn't the right one, and trying to figure out which is the right one. And I think once they did, you saw her just grow leaps and bounds and have an incredible year. So I think situations like that all over. Avery Hodge moving to third base, the brand new position, and now, my gosh, she's maybe the best third baseman ever walk around Tiger Park. It's incredible, but it took a minute for her to understand that position and learn it. And Alex Franklin transitioned to right field and now is playing that at an elite level. So just a lot of new and growing into their spot.
All right, Coach, before we let you go, and we certainly appreciate the time. I know, as you said, you're trying to get ready to host there. Y'all got a lot of things coming up over the next couple of days. But if you had a message to all LSU softball fans, which they're a very passionate group, but if you had a message to make sure that Tiger Park is turned up to an 11, it's at its peak, what would you say to the LSU softball fans?
I think that's it, man. I think we need them in every pitch with us. A lot of these teams have really good arms. So I think every single pitch we win is going to be a big one, right? We talked about, you know the concept of pounding the stone and just It's not the first 100 blows, it's the 101st that breaks it open. So we need to win every single pitch we can. We need people out and in every pitch and understanding, like, we got to win the war at the end of it here.
Absolutely, and we're all looking forward to it. Coach, congratulations to this point. Looking forward to a great regional in Tiger Park, and we always appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Beth Torina, head softball coach for the LSU Tigers, good enough to join us here on OTB as they get ready. Again, LSU, Virginia Tech, South Alabama, and Akron going to be in town. And the winner of this regional is going to play the winner of the Tuscaloosa regional, which probably going to be Alabama. Pretty good softball team. But that would be a great challenge for LSU if they're able to get out of this regional. You heard her talk about it there. The final host site came down to LSU and Virginia Tech. They probably looked at Virginia Tech and said, hey, y'all only played 13 home games. Do y'all really care?
Get closer hotels and don't have graduation the same weekend that you're supposed to do it.
That is very true as well. But look, LSU was 13th in the RPI,
Yes.
so not crazy that they get one of the top 16 seeds by
Virginia Tech got snubbed.
Oh, Lord.
It said that in that article.
It did. It
How
said,
do
go
you-
prove
They
them
got
wrong,
snubbed.
ladies.
They got snubbed.
I got so triggered by that article because, okay, if you want to lay out an argument for why Virginia Tech should have been the host site over LSU, you can lay that out, right? But why did it have to be so passive aggressive? And why did it have to be so, like, I could tell that you are very hurt by this? Prove them wrong, ladies.
You're someone that has lived in Blacksburg, Virginia your whole life, went to school there, and you're too close to the situation.
I want LSU, obviously, for every single reason. But, like, I just want them to win this so bad so that one guy that wrote that one article.
Because we love petty.
We are so petty.
We are very petty here on the show.
I know.
I look forward to being right. All right, we will step away. We will take a break. We've still got a lot coming your way here on today's show. The voice of the LSU Tigers, Chris Blair, is going to join us at 9:15. So stay locked in for that. Stay locked in for the entirety of OTB when we come back here from the Raising Cane studio.
Off the bench.
All right, when it comes to your money, relationships still matter, and that's why people across Louisiana trust First American Bank and Trust. At First American Bank and Trust, you're not calling some giant out-of-state bank where nobody knows your name. You're working with local bankers who understand our communities, our businesses, and the people who live here. So whether you're looking for a personal banking, business banking, home loans, construction loans, or help planning for the future, First American gives you the technology and convenience you want with the personal service you deserve. If you need a checking account, saving for a home, expanding your business, First American has the expertise and local decision-making to help you move forward faster. And because they're community focused, they're invested in helping Louisiana families and businesses grow and succeed every single day. So if you're ready for a better banking experience, make the switch to First American Bank and Trust. Visit FABT.com today to learn more information and find a location near you.
Dirty South. Can y'all really feel me? Feel us. East Coast, feel me. Feel us. West Coast, feel me. Say what? Dirty South. Here we go. Can y'all really feel me? Baby girl. East Coast, feel me. West Coast, feel me. Can you feel us? Dirty South. Dirty, dirty. Can y'all really feel me? Feel it. East Coast, feel me. Say what? West Coast, feel me. Dirty South.
From the locker room to the airwaves, it's Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Boy, I've been watching you like the hawk in the sky that fly, but you are my prey. Boy, I promise you, if we keep bumping heads, I know that one of these days we gon' hook it up, probably talk on the phone, but see, I don't know if that's good. I've been holding back.
All right, welcome back in OTB here live from the Raising Cane studio. You'll see the big dumper finally got a hit.
Wait, no, I didn't see that. He did?
Well, you'll see how.
Well, because he took a shower with his uniform on, right?
Went 2
I
for
did
4.
see that.
Went
Oh,
2
and
for
then he
4
went 2
last
for
night.
4.
He got 2 hits.
The entire LSU baseball team needs to shower with their uniforms on.
Yeah.
And all of them. Every single one of them.
Mainly pitching staff. Get out there, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't they
Baseball's
think
a
about that?
weird deal.
Yeah.
It's a weird deal.
It's odd, man.
I think it's probably
Cal Raleigh,
the,
by the way, is the player we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, Cal
Mariners-
Raleigh.
Mariners catcher.
if you know, you know.
Big Dumper's just his nickname.
Yeah. What was he, 0 for 34?
0 for 38.
38, oof.
Turned into 0 for 38.
Welcome back, Chris
now, he
Davis.
had 60 home runs last year.
Yeah.
So,
I mean.
people surprised to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he gets 2 hits last night. And I really want to harp on the showering in his full uniform portion of this because, we did you did some weird things when you're trying to figure it out, when you're slumping a little bit.
Yeah.
Like in football, we do some, one year, and they all run together. We were struggling in San Diego, and we used to carpool to work. We used to carpool with the quarterbacks, and we would typically pick each other up at like 5:30, I don't know, something like that. Get there for 6:30, sauna, hot tub, do the whole deal, watch some tape. And we started struggling when you're like really bad, like lost 3 in a row, whatever. And we're like, all right, let's get in earlier. And then you know how that is. Like then it started to roll downhill. It's like, let's get in earlier. We got to play better. We got to get here. It got to a point we were picking each other up at 3. Like we were picking each other up. It was dark outside. It's 3 a.m. We're getting to the facility like at 3:45, and we're just like trying to figure out anything we could possibly do to change our fortunes and to win football games.
Yeah.
Like we would do stuff like that, like which is kind of weird. I get it, but we didn't take showers in our full football uniform.
Right.
But in baseball, I feel like this is almost like normal.
It's normal.
Because like baseball players, it is such a game of failure.
Yeah.
You could be the greatest to ever do it. You're going to fail more than you succeed.
Yeah.
And that's weird for me being a football player because I would get cut if that was the situation.
You have to execute everything perfectly playing football.
You got to be like
Yeah.
90%.
Right.
You really do. You got to be like a 90% player.
Yeah.
Baseball,
You're
not. I
Right.
mean, 30 to 40%, you're great.
Yeah.
So it's different. I get that.
It
But
is.
man, baseball players will do whatever they have to do to get out of a slump.
I think it's definitely like the most superstitious group of people in a sport for sure. Like I remember when I was playing softball, we all did our hair the same way every single game. We like did the same routine, ate the same stuff. And this is like normal stuff, but like it's the most superstitious sport for real. I don't know why it is, but it is. And we believe in dumb things like showering in your full baseball uniform to get the slump off of you. And it did, because it worked.
It
You
worked.
see that?
Oh,
you see
no.
that in
You're going to
movies.
have so many people showering in their
Well,
uniforms.
you were talking about like football players don't do that. Baseball movies, you see this.
Yeah.
Like the pitcher, gives up a home run or whatever. He goes to the shower, just stands there under the water.
Yeah.
In his uni. He said that Raleigh said that Logan Gilbert, their pitcher, gave him the advice. He said he told me to wash off the bad mojo from the baseball gods.
Yeah.
He said, and it worked. So got to give him credit. So there you go.
His hit in the 7th inning was his first hit since April 27th. I was 40 last time he got a hit.
That's crazy.
was
That's
a
a
year
crazy
ago.
way to put that.
That's wild.
It's, again, this man went and showered in his full uniform. Got 2 hits.
All right.
Good for him.
It worked. They won 10-2.
It's like the movie Major League. Like they were trying, like Joe Boo. Like they're trying
Yeah.
everything they possibly can to get out of a slump or to stay hot.
Didn't
They were
you
good at any
send us a Major League thing yesterday? Wasn't yesterday the anniversary of Major League?
Well, I did because it was actually Jay Johnson when he was at Arizona.
Uh-huh.
They recreated the spring training deal where
Oh.
players coming in. He's like,
Yeah.
Right.
I thought you said we didn't have any high priced talent on this team or whatever. Like
Yeah.
we did the whole thing, and then Jay Foley goes in on it, does like the Lou Brown voice, like
This
in the
is
video.
incredible.
I've never seen
You've
Jay.
got to watch it. So it was
This is
like it was like
crazy.
it was like an anniversary of the movie.
Yeah.
And so Arizona baseball was like, hey, we remember when we did this, and I was like, I had never seen it before. It's long, so I don't know that it's worth playing. Like it's pretty long.
No, but I've never
But
seen
we need
Jay
to maybe
like
play a version of it.
show some personality.
I don't think that he would do that at LSU.
No. That's
But it's
funny.
actually pretty good. It's pretty funny.
That is funny.
I'm pull it up.
I love that.
Forgot about Dorn because he's only high priced.
That's right. They did a good job.
Yeah.
And of course,
You know, I need the whole entire baseball team, LSU baseball team, to get in the showers with their
what is the
full unis on.
what is the craziest thing that either one of y'all have done? Y'all both played high school sports all throughout. What's the craziest thing you've done to try to get out of a slump?
Nothing. I never slumped. I'm just kidding.
Wow. All right, Tommy, tough
no,
guy.
definitely slumped multiple times.
But
I don't know. My dad used to make me just go to the batting cage and like just be there for hours after I had a bad tournament or something.
I remember, so my old, my hitting coach in high school ball, his name was Tim Hewlett, and he played like a decade in the show.
Yeah.
Like he was with Cal Ripken with the Orioles. Like
Yeah.
He played second, backed him up at shortstop. And I can remember, like, I was struggling, and after a game, full uniform, he's like, Cage, now, me,
Yeah.
you. And, like, we sat there for, like, an hour after a game, and we had BP, and we worked on, like, 97 different
there.
things, like, to, you know, try to get me out of a slump.
Yeah.
So I've definitely done that before, which is it's humbling when everybody's going home, and you're in there taking hacks.
Yeah. No, for real.
I didn't play baseball in high school. I mean, I played all the way through middle school, but so, I mean, I guess I didn't really have quote unquote slumps, you know, because
Yeah.
if you're not playing baseball, I guess I didn't really have like a superstition per se.
Oh, I had to wear the same. So under my football pads, I had the same Punisher shirt
Yeah.
that I wore every game. I wore it at LSU until it just disintegrated. The same Punisher shirt, sleeves off, mid-drift, cut, wore it after, you know, under my pads for every game.
I don't know if this is abnormal or not, but like my entirety of like my high school career playing, I never bought new sliding shorts. They're this, and that was like a thing for
They
me.
were
Like
hanging
I'm
on by a
not
thread.
all tore up.
Yeah.
But that was like my thing. Like I was like, I'm not. The sliding shorts are
Yeah.
the thing.
Not everybody can be as good as Tay was, apparently, and did never slump.
I mean, it's hard
Yeah, I
to
just
like.
balled
He's
out.
like, nah, I'm
Nah, I just balled
guys.
out,
I'm
bro.
sorry, but it was
Well,
too
no,
hard
like,
for me to not be.
I don't
a
know
fan.
about the rest
if
of
you throw
y'all.
a pick or drop a ball in practice, you're like, hey, idiot, what are you doing? Like, there's not slumps, and I mean, there are, but like not
Yes.
like baseball. Not like baseball.
Oh no, I've slumped bad before.
Hour 3 when we come back here from the Raising Cane's studio.
Off the bench.
All right, as y'all know, we've been telling you over the last couple of weeks, May is Stroke Awareness Month. And when it comes to stroke, every second matters. All right, so remember the signs. FAST, right? F-A-S-T. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, time to call 911. Ochsner is leading the way with advanced stroke care right here in Louisiana. Remember, they've got expert teams ready 24/7 in life-saving treatment when you need it the most. So we can't stress this enough. Don't wait. Don't second guess it. Remember, again, FAST, F-A-S-T. Learn the signs, protect your loved ones, and get the right care at the right place with Ochsner. You can download the My Ochsner app to stay connected to your healthcare anytime. Again, the My Ochsner app. Ochsner Health, innovating healthcare, improving lives. Go to ochsner.org. My Ochsner app, My Ochsner app.